Dinosaur Office, roar!
Hey gang, I'm Danny, and I'm a team building expert. Today, we're gonna boost morale and have fun doing it.
Yeah!
Icebreaker time. Everyone say your name and a fun fact about yourself. Go.
My name's Craig, and I enjoy the newspaper.
Don't hold back, Craig. Tell us something really interesting about yourself.
My name's Craig, and I enjoy gardening. Magazines.
All right, let's change gears. I need a volunteer to wear this blindfold. Now, it's your job to guess the secret object here. Impossible? It would be without your coworkers giving you hints. Come on, gang.
It's high in carbohydrates. Simple or complex?
Let's stay focused on the big picture, okay? Now, when I look at this, I see something round, something you can eat.
Oh, I know. It's a donut.
You are not the guesser.
If it's a donut, it's a simple carb.
Let's try something very simple. Trust falls, okay? Sheila, you lean back. Terry, you catch her. That's it. You can do this, guys.
I trust you!
I'm impressed by how wrong that was.
Excuse me, sir. I have back problems. May I lend Todd my grocery store discount card instead?
No!
Why not? That's the ultimate symbol of trust.
Is this a joke to you? I am a highly trained team building professional. Your company purchased the platinum package, and I'm gonna make you a team, whether you like it or no.
Hey, I caught him.
Terry, you are an asset to our team.
Someone please contact my healthcare provider!
Trust is so important to relationships, especially if you're trying to keep a team together. Now, if you work at the dinosaur office, that might not work so great, but today I want to look at a story out of this guy's life that we've been looking at over the past couple of weeks, where because of his trust in God, he was able to encourage and help others. Now, if you've been here the past few weeks, you know we're talking about this man named Paul, who we first meet in the Bible as he's persecuting Christians, killing them for following Jesus. But then he meets Jesus and everything changes. In fact, he goes from being the guy hunting Christians to being the one hunted for being a Christian. When we find Paul in this story, he's actually on a prison ship because he was in prison for preaching about Jesus. And I don't know about you, but if I were in Paul's shoes or sandals, I think I would not be very happy. I'd be pretty scared and most of the time pretty down about myself. But not Paul. Paul is able to stay encouraged and encourage others because he trusts that God is with him. Well, before they get better, things actually start to get worse because the ship Paul is on crashes into land, and Paul and the other prisoners, the soldiers and the sailors on board, are all shipwrecked, stranded in the middle of nowhere, and 2 weeks go by and they're still stuck there, far enough from the land that they think they can't swim to shore, but still close enough that their ship is stuck against the rocks and the waves are beating against them, the ship is being torn apart. They're all sure they're going to die there. And because all these people were so worried that they'd never be rescued, they weren't eating. And Paul comes to all these people and he says, "Don't worry, you all need to eat. You haven't eaten in 2 weeks. Eat up. We won't die here." Well, what makes you say that, Paul? Have you seen where we are? You're stuck on this ship with soldiers and sailors who would be willing to kill you to save themselves. There's no hope of rescue. You're stuck there and you think you're going to be okay? Why? Because Paul trusted in God. Paul trusted that God still had use for him. And because of his trust in God, Paul was able to encourage the men to eat and keep their morale up more than that team builder guy in that video. And because of him, the soldiers kept the prisoners alive long enough for them to swim to shore and get rescued. Paul trusted in God, and God used his trust to help others. And God wants to use you as well. There are going to be times where it seems like everything is falling apart and everyone around you is going to say to give up. But if you trust in God, God can still use you. Now, that doesn't mean everything will always work out the way you want it to, but God can still use you if you trust. Maybe you can be the one person who encourages every other person to keep going, just like Paul did. Maybe God can use you to tell others about him in the midst of these times, like Paul did. Whether or not things turn out the way you want them to or not, God can still use you when you trust in him. So don't give up trusting in God. He's got a plan for you. So talk about that in your groups, and I'll see you next week.